Plants vs. Zombies has seen an endless amount of knockoffs, from the likes of Angry Plants and Thou Who Shall Not Be Named. But in my countless hours of playing these games, I have never come across a game so strange, so unique, so angry to anything else I've covered on this channel. Maybe except for Taco Simulator, the customer service was appalling, mate. Zombie Harvest! Originally titled I Am Legend, Why Are PvZ Knockoffs Obsessed with Will Smith Movies, is a game that released all the way back in 2013, until its rebrand as what we know it for today, Lumpy Artist. But this PvZ-inspired game is actually not only inspired by PvZ, it's also inspired by Angry Birds! Oh my goodness! Hey, give me some skin, Red. That's my boy right there. We go way back, man. For those of you not aware, Angry Birds and PvZ were initially released only months apart, with PvZ coming out in May of 2009 and Bird Game dropping in that December. Which is why it only makes sense that games parodying their success would nab elements from either franchise to make their game just that much better.
Hey Brando, thanks for looking after my...
I can explain. Zombie Harvest describes itself as a sarcastic parody of popular games, but with a twist. And speaking of popular games that make you want to twist, I've just released my very own video game called Angry Red Sunflowers Against Undead Piggies. Take it away, Stop Drop San.
I'm happy to show off the very first teaser for this highly anticipated game. I am very happy. I am very happy.
But in all seriousness, I've been wanting to make a video about Angry Birds for a while. So taking a look at the actual trailer for Zombie Harvest, the world is in despair. As a pig sets Red from Angry Birds on fire, whilst Chuck looks in agony and Bluebird is loving every second of this. Villains assault the last refuge. What in the chat GPT? You would assume by the shot of these birds flying in to save the day, that we, that means me and you, play as the birds in order to kill the pigs, since Red is literally being prepared for tea time later. But that story is suddenly thrown away as the bootleg Garden Warfare roster make their way over to laugh at these plans. Hold on a minute. Why have the Angry Birds turned into laughing birds? You was just being prepared for Thanksgiving, but now suddenly it's more amusing to take the piss out of Mato and family. This rightfully pisses off the Plant family and Michelangelo, as we are now shown our upcoming enemies. I don't remember this part in Angry Birds. Loading into the game, we're hit in the face with AppMania, game making company. Oh, really? AppMania is a game development company. And I thought you were a dog shelter. The screen fades in from black, revealing Swag Carrot showing off in front of Zombie Napoleon, the guy who fought in the French Revolution, until we are hit with this game's opening theme. Now, it might just be me, but if I was blindfolded and was told to guess what game this song is from, I'd probably say Zombie Harvest since I've already played it. But if I didn't know that, this song legitimately sounds like it was ripped right out of an Angry Birds game. You knew what you was doing, EFG Studio. Earth. Fire. Garbanzo. We press the play button, throwing us into what appears to be the Grand Canyon, along with our friends Sunshooter, Sour Pirate Face, and Jesus Christ.
Hint! Click on the zombie to shoot the zombie.
Oh, thank you, Hint. That means a lot. I nearly accidentally clicked myself and shot myself. I'm not gonna lie, there seems to be a lot happening for what's supposed to be the first level. There's crates falling from the sky whilst planes are flying by, dropping in pigs and parachutes as gravestone zombies jump across these platforms as if they're playing Doodle Jump. And to top it all off, Donkey Kong. Oh, that was a fake intro. Doy. Right, so I guess this button will take us to the real level 1. Mission 1. The zombies are just insatiable. Insatiable? What the hell did Dave put in your plant food? That's a nice-ass word. Insatiable. He's already in there. He's insatiable.
Hint! Click on...
Yeah, we get it. Click on the Brando to shoot the Brando. So as shown before in the fake intro, our plants do not attack automatically like in PvZ, but instead require us to accurately aim where we want to fire our shots at the zombies. Just like in Angry Birds. However, in this game, our plants have replenishing ammo in the form of a reload, which allows this crack-confused termite to Mario jump his way closer to our pile of seed food. Again, I have no idea why they are doing this. They were literally turning red into poached eggs 10 minutes ago. The zombies in PvZ 1 don't even care about the plants. They're just in the way of getting to the zombies' real desire of Dave's yummy face. I don't know if the undead army are just vegetarian in Zombie Harvest. That might be the fun twist Banzo was talking about earlier. But we cleared out the wave, leading us into mission 2. Further reinforcements spotted. Destroy the cage to release a fellow soldier. Why are you telling me to do this if you're the one in the level, you angry plant?
Hint! Shoot the tomato to become friends with it.
I'm doing this for us, Mato.
You saved Private Tomato! Well, he can't be that private. He's waving his wang all over the place. Mission 3. The zombies have regrouped and are lurching. Lurching? See, no, that one doesn't work. You need to stop sounding smart, Flower. Insatiable? I mess with that. That's nice. That's a nice-ass sounding word. Lurching? What are you, a leech? Why the leech lurching for? Private Tomato is a bit different to Sunshooter, as he only has 2 charges in his tomato belt that act as projectile splash attacks, requiring a more accurate angle to hit approaching zombies. Which makes my job a lot harder, as Maverick Top Gun flew by to drop off Mary Poppins right in front of Mato Naught. What are they putting in that seed food? Mission 4. Carrot Squad! Don't let them die! Actually, 2 can die, I think. Yeah, let's kill 2 of them.
Hint! Don't shoot at the carrot to become friends with it.
You win this round, Carrot.
Oh, shit. Don't mind me, you lot. Just a carrot coming through, eh? Gosh, you wouldn't believe what they did. Hooray! Mission 5. Pinky time. Not that intimidating, are you? Make a soldier stronger by promoting them to a higher rank. Oh, really? I know you said you were parodying games, but did you have to steal PvZ 2's leveling system? This upgrade better be worth it, Sunface, because we need to rescue Pumpkin before the zombies cut him up for Halloween! I think they might have beat you to it. Thankfully, these imps and piglets are like ass at this game, so we freed Pumper and... oh, sorry, Engineer Pumpkin. What's he so good at fixing then? Can he change my tire?
Oh, come on then, I don't got all day.
Hint. Tap the screen to tell Engineer Pumpkin to greet Mr. Imp and kill him. Sorry, what's so engineer about blowing yourself up? This thing is the birth child of Bomb, Matilda, and Squash from PvZ. But assuming this guy can practically take down anything, I took aim for the skies and sent Pumpkin right into the plane. What are you doing over there? You missed. Hello? Are you going to do something other than dance? Who dropped you as a child? Mission 8. The rescue carrots robbed the enemy base. What the fuck? Hang on. The scrawny carrots that were evacuating their capture in the last level managed to sneak back into the zombie camp and stole their airplanes. And paint them in Santa colors. Where the hell are my plants? And what are you doing up there, Carrot? How the hell am I supposed to... oh, yeah, the carrots rigged the planes with the nukes. That sounds about right. On paper, Zombie Harvest does simulate the mechanics of PvZ, with plant on left and fat, stupid imp on right, as well as Angry Birds aiming functionality and different bird abilities to make some weird amalgamation resulting in this game. But what wasn't in either of these games was carrots driving modified stealth bombers over the River Nile. Mission 9 was more of the same stuff we're used to, but Mission 10 revealed this pig man. Score? Is his name Score? I don't know. Kill him at all costs! Jesus, Flower, that's a bit intense, isn't it? His ass wasn't even laughing at you in the intro. Why don't you want to kill Laugh Face over here? You what? You picked it up at Martha, did you? Who the hell is Martha? Instead of the zombie wave slowly progressing in the bottom here, this bar now acts as Mr. Pig's health status, which is telling us that he's still got well over half health. I'd argue it's slower, but each to their own. We powered on, ticking away his weirdly designed health bar, which is when Squash chose to jump over the pig captain and just start dancing. There is definitely something wrong with you. He eventually blew up, leading to Mr. Pig retreating from the battle and hiding away in a future level. And now my carrots are kidnapped again. Are you kidding me? By this point in the game, and when I say this point, I mean basically the start of the game, the levels are already beginning to repeat themselves with little to no changes. Who would have thunk that a game copying other popular games would quickly run out of ideas? But not to worry, because Senor Private Tomato is here, representing his Caribbean roots to take on... Who drew this abomination? I know Balloon Zombie was probably the most creepy-looking enemy in PvZ 1. No disrespect, Rich Werner. Thank you for the amazing artwork. But this Bubble Bandit Gremlin head ass is the most disgusting thing my eyes have ever been forced to look at.
The fuck?
Maybe other than this thing. Wait a minute. Is that the brand new limited edition Brando plush? There is a limited supply of these guys, and they will be never made again. So, if you want a Brando plush to dance with, buy one now, because they're never coming back. I'm not lying. This is the only time you could get one of these. Introducing new features like buttons and a screen and oh, headphone jack, what the hell? It has a back flap with my name on it. Andy's shoe, Toy Story. Guys, buy my plush. Please buy my plush. Oh my... Where are you going?
Hint! Wait for that f***ing ugly balloon to pop!
Hey, dude, no. Okay, Mr. Narrator, that is not a nice thing to call him.
Yeah, but he's ugly!
I don't care if he's ugly, okay? That's just cruel. You do not call someone that.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Good. Now try again.
I'm really sorry. I didn't mean like...
Look, it's okay, okay? Don't worry. Just redo the line, please.
Hint, wait,
No. Give it more. More emphasis.
wait for the balloon man to turn red to burst his bubble!
And in doing so, Mr. Evil Disgusting to look at face explodes! Why does literally everything explode in this game? What's he got stored in that balloon of his? Lighter fluid? Because it makes him lighter. So he can float off the ground. By the way, these balloon zombies are so inconsistent with their inflation-ness. These two chose to stroll down the street together just for me to somehow click around their balloon so they can live happily ever blown up. Mission 13 was another carrot bomb level. I don't know how these guys keep stealing the zombies' aircraft just to get kidnapped again later in the level, but whatever, I'm not a plant.
If your enemies are too fast, slow them down.
Oh, are we serious? You took the power-ups from PvZ 2 as well, man? Do we really need to steal every pay-to-win element from the game? Why couldn't you have stole the Zen Garden? Or something cool like the secret golden eggs in AB? That's its cool name now. We call it AB. But moving onwards, we finally went up against those grave guys from the fake-out level. As these Muppet Christmas Carol-looking zombies get closer to our plants, they huddle a grave in front of my defense, similar to the surfboard zombies from Big Wave Beach, in which distracted my plants from being able to shoot the zombies protected by the gravestone. And I'm surprised that PopCap never created a gravestone lobbing zombie in the first place, considering how cool of a concept that is. I guess Tomb Raiser is kind of like that, but he's kind of just licking bones like a dog. Why does he even do this?
When your stock of sacks is running out, use first aid.
Great. So I just have a not die button. Yeah, can I also get an instant win button, please? And then cut to me finding out that there's an instant win button.
Soon, we'll have an Air Force. All you need to do is save Eggplant.
Nah, that's all right. You can keep that freak locked up. Eggplant, thankfully, is not a playable character, but instead flies by the level, dropping crates that provide random items to help us during battle. Whether it be coins, or splash potions, or a nuke. So after scaring off Pigman once again, Mission 21 is directed by Eggplant.
If there are too many enemies...
Wait, no shot, man. Are we being serious, game. Somehow, this game has managed to outdo PvZ 2 with their power-up system. In that game, you just get different ways to manually slow down the zombie horde, but in Zombie Harvest, you have the luxury of using the sand timer to literally immobilize the zombies for 10 seconds, using the medkit to reset your seed food health, and the lightning strike button, which, unlike PvZ 2, doesn't lightning strike the zombies. But after another slog of repeated levels, we made it to the final level in the swamplands. It's time for the captain to retire. Let's give him an honorable send-off. Oh, that's quite nice, Sunshooter. What did you have in mind?
A good kick in the ass.
Good night. But with one world down, another emerges. The favelas. And it appears that a familiar friend of ours got trapped here. In Brazil. Entering the level, Peas, yeah, in this game, that's just what he's called. He's called Peas. Peas is trapped in someone's house. So to help him escape, the gang just breaks into someone else's house to free him from afar, instead of just breaking into the other house. But in releasing him, we now obtain the power of shooting in a general area and missing the target, which is also important to note that Sunshooter has just been replaced. Like, I didn't choose Peas to come along in this mission. He just decided to be here instead, which is great because now I can miss all of the enemies I want to shoot at, including our newest foe. Bluebird, why are you trying to eat me? Your brother was... Oh, for fuck. Why are you so stupid? I do not get why the angry birds are trying to eat the angry plants when the fat pigs were literally cooking all of you 20 minutes ago. We are literally on the same team here. I mean, they could just be hungry. I don't know. Mission 35. Cucumber is withering in a cage. Free the green. That's Quagmire. And just like Peas, Quagmire decides to replace Tomato with his supersonic stomach acid blast.
Cucumber, everybody!
I'm in no mood for jokes, soldier. Cover the carrots while they play around with the super weapon.
Batman. What could you possibly need kryptonite for, Carrot?
Mighty corn, you shall be free again!
Who is asking for this corn's freedom? I wouldn't trust this freak anywhere near the Milky Way. The game continues with more random objectives and enemies like
Defend the carrots as they blow up Dracula!
And as soon as I was getting too big for my boots, the game crashed. How annoying. I'll just reopen the game here and... Why am I playing it again? Wait, what? My game didn't save anything? I'm not quite sure what happened here, but getting this far into Zombie Harvest isn't exactly a 5-minute job. And I can't just call the video here. You guys want to see all of the cool zebras like Rocket Man. That's so cool. So I took it upon me to make it all the way back to where I was, in a completely legal and legitimate way that will not put me in prison, might I add. Be like Brando, truthful and twitchy.
I'm really cold.
So making our way back, we took on new faces like
The bird who lived.
and eventually ended up in a new world. Terraria? I don't know. Letting us unlock cultural appropriated pepper.
Dr. Pepper? Nah, mate. Senor Jalapeno!
And similar to Plants vs. Zombies, the pepper does actually explode in a set range, but with the added bonus of being able to launch it where you want. And I'm not sure if Zombie Harvest ran out of ideas by this point, but Mr. Pepper is the last plant we earn in this game. But we've still got 2 billion levels left to beat. Ah, go on, add a frog to the game. Hello everybody, it's me, the frog. Time to show these zombies what I'm made of. God damn, bro, I just got here, man. You ain't give me a fair chance of nothing. We went on to battle Napoleon with his circus-sized cannon that pisses out cannonballs, and then spotted Chuck flying over... Zombie Mike Tyson, which they named Dyson. Like the Hoover. I guess Zombie Harvest wanted their very own Michael Jackson, like in PvZ 1, but thought to spice it up by adding a heavyweight champion for my plants to spit vegetables at.
There's no way Iron Mike is getting past that lot. You know, your 5 a day.
Why did they add you anyway? After finally taking down Neapolitan ice cream for the 3rd time, he was finally defeated for good, showcasing his Pepsi underpants, whilst all of our plants celebrate the end of their adventure. But that is not true. Fake news! Fake news! Fake news! As for some reason, Zombie Harvest updated their game to include 30 more levels, allowing us to conquer DK. Okay. But my version of the game doesn't have that, and I can't update my game because, you know. So thanks to Kratos. I didn't realize you wanted to be a YouTuber, Mr. God of War. Guys, can we get Kratos to 100 subscribers so he can, feed Atreus? I don't know what you do in those games. We defeat Dyson somewhere around here. There's like 30 pixels to choose from, so I'm gonna guess he's there. We take on these banana-flavored monkeys that do somersaults and wintersaults. You are so cool, monkey. And in the actual real 100% beat, not clickbait tutorial final level of Zombie Harvest, we take on the king. Well, I guess Kratos does, but just pretend we're there with him. Bruised and bloodied, Donkey Kong falls to his knees. Or hands, I guess. He's a monkey. So I think it's about time to see the actual final cutscene of Zombie Harvest. Kratos, I think there's an advert playing, mate. Could you just get back to... Bye.